the participative process that is occurring in the council. We really had in communication, we had different goals, but the first and main one was transparency and pedagogy. So in communication, there is this base that we really needed to have to just make everyone understand what we are talking about. But there was a governance committee who made the choices for the basic ruling of the citizen assembly. They were the one in charge of saying, okay, so this is the program for this session. Okay, so now who do you want to hear about this topic? Which topic do you think it is really important to talk about? So there were hearings that were already planned, for example, with just the key stakeholders and actors of the topic. Also, for example, the president of the National Assembly of France came to them to explain their mandate and what we were expecting from them. But really on the topic, they were the ones saying, okay, I really want to hear a doctor who wrote on the topic. Okay, we need to hear these two associations because they have really different point of views and we want them to debate together, to hear the views and to compare them between them. So in communication, we really just showed the debate and showed the way citizens were thinking because they evolved throughout the whole process. So it was really important to show that you can change your mind because you are hearing some stuff. And on the other hand, you will just afterwards also change again because you heard other things. So in communication, we really wanted to show the whole spectrum of opinion that the citizens have heard. We also believe that the citizens were enough aware that they were not here to be influenced, but just to hear what the experts had to say. Of course, you could say maybe they could influence in some way, but after an hearing, they will always be in small group and discuss of what they've heard. So some people would say, oh, I completely agree with that expert. And the other will, oh, me not at all. It's just, he's so wrong. And with that discussion, they would build together their common knowledge and their common ground that they share, like the thing they agree on. And also what is important is in the end, even though there was a majority that voted on something, they didn't all agree, and everyone was not. It was not 100% agreement vote. Some did not agree with the final decision of the citizen assembly, but there were some things that they were all agreed on. That they all agreed on is that end of life care and palliative care should be mandatory and should be implemented in every region because it is not actually and practically the case. So I would say that from experts, they were enough exchanges between them to not be just passive and influence because it is really a building process. And thanks to those small group exchanges, they can just say, okay, I don't agree and not be just passive. With the example of end of life, what the Citizen Assembly showed is that there is no simple answer and that, for example, the citizen, when they first came in, maybe the way they would have answered was not the way they answered is in the end because during the whole process, they just learned, they just figured out a lot of things and they build up together their common answer. So it is really the fact that we drag together individualities to think about really difficult topic that allows people to give complex answers because the answer is not simple. Again, the report was, they made almost 90 propositions just on palliative care. So there were many, many ideas because this is what we asked them to give ideas and their intention on what end of life in France should be.